Don't tell me this hand does not move. Are you kidding me? Oh.
Where is the star?
On top of the thwomp.
But what?
The minute hand is supposed to rotate around, and then you're supposed to jump on the thwomp.
Jesus.
Yeah, I can't get in this current state, which means I'm gonna have to get creative. Because that is the last star we need.
Okay.
I don't know why it's borked like this, but it is. So I have to figure out something. Because I know
You fudgehogs, Z, we can't be friends anymore, dude. We can't be friends anymore.
Why?
I didn't realize it's okay. Look, I have nothing against Viva Piñata. I actually really love Viva Piñata. It's one of my favorite chill games because it's like a mixture of Harvest Moon with like. It has nothing really to do with like Animal Crossing. It very much is more reminiscent of like Harvest Moon and maybe just some of like the husbandry from like Stardew Valley and stuff like that. So like, you know, that part's fun. You get to take care of like all these really cool creatures. You make habitats for them. It's really chill. Music's nice. The graphics itself is really nice. When there's different weather conditions, it's actually really cool. And there's a lot of like strategy for having certain piñatas in your garden because you kind of have to sacrifice a couple, but you don't want to like dwindle the population too much. You want to keep them so they can actually like live in the same garden, but some of them are predators to each other, so you kind of have to like build the habitats in a certain way.
Wait a minute, predator?
Yeah.
Piñatas?
Yeah, some piñatas eat others. Like, and so you have to like make habitats that not only like make it super comfortable for them, but also keeps them safe, you know? But you still have to provide food to the other piñata, so it's like, you know, you gotta make enough to feed the predators, but also like keep the other prey safe, but you don't want to let them know you're kind of sacrificing some in order to feed the predators, so it's like,
what the fuck is this game?
I know! It's wild. It's wild. And sometimes you even have to set piñatas on fire so they can turn into a different variant.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a wild game. So as much as I love that game, the cartoon itself, though I kind of grew up with it, I won't not say that it's super uncanny. The CGI for it is really strange. Like, it's in the same realm as like the Donkey Kong animated freaking CGI. It's like that. And even though it's super colorful and all that stuff, it used to be on like Foxbox/4Kids, it just had Uncanny Valley like CGI a lot. The models would be so cool, and then anytime they did facial expressions, it was like so weird. They would be super bug-eyed and like super strange. They would kind of look like somebody was like on the brink of suffocating. You know when somebody's eyeballs kind of like pop out of their sockets when like their body gets pressurized and all the oxygen leaves them?
Yeah.
It's like that anytime they like speak. It's like, think of Adventure when their mouth is constantly moving and their eyes are also moving with their mouth. It's like that, sort of. It's really strange. So technically, even though the cartoon is like, you know, fond memories, it was super Uncanny Valley, like really odd to look at. And I think that's kind of also what brought that cartoon down. It's just that it wasn't super pretty to look at.
Yes.
And some of the writing was weird, and there was like cannibalism at one point, and it was just, yeah, it talked on like weird topics. It was strange. At one point, because like I said, some piñatas are predators to others, there was an entire episode of one of the piñatas straight up cannibalizing an entire population of other piñatas. And it happens regularly. And it happens in game too. So like, that's just a normal thing that happens on the Piñata Island. If they don't get sent to a party so they could get absolutely slaughtered by humans for their candy inside of their bodies, they're having to constantly be in fear that other piñatas will cannibalize them, take their candy, just so that they could be more packed to be sent to another party. It is the wildest thing ever when you really get into it. So as cool as all that is in the base of like a Piñata cartoon, the animation is just so fucked and borked and weird. And the Fudgehog one, definitely the weirdest fucking thing. It is the most pathetic piñata around. And it has got the most annoying high-pitched voice. also super obsessed with chocolate, and also one of the cannibalistic piñatas. And it eats other piñatas that happen to have chocolate in it and stuff like that. And in game, you have to kill other piñatas to feed it. And I don't know, it's also one of the ugliest looking ones. It's just a big old lump on top. It's supposed to be a hedgehog, but it's just a big giant camel hump full of like chocolate and candy stuck on top of like a weird chia pet body. So like, it's not super appealing whatsoever. Some people find it to be like super cute and stuff like that.
What is this series?
The way it walks almost has like a weird warped gelatin thing on top of its body. It's like if you took a Bulbasaur and injected a bunch of like gelatinous fluid into its bulb and let it like burst out of proportion and just left it unchecked for it to fester and become infected. That's what a fudgehog is. And it's like, you have to send that to a party. Like, who's not gonna kill that thing, right? And it's super weird because you're like,
GK,
first of all,
what is this series?
It's Viva Piñata. And the biggest
Why?
thing, huge question, Gino. Huge question, and this is the most important one. They breed. So if you really think about it, what actually constitutes a piñata breeding? Do they like eat each other's candy? Is it the cannibalism that causes it? Is it just the way that they look? Is there a type of husbandry for like the piñatas? Because in the game, you have to breed them. And most of the time, Gino, no lie, when you're breeding some of them, most of their breeding ritual is literally just them body slamming each other into walls or almost killing each other. In fact, the mating ritual, like the minigame, is you traveling along a path that's full of bombs and you can't get blown up. And that's how you're supposed to mate with the other one. Like, you can't be exploded, you can't die, and when you do get to mate with the other piñata, it's mostly just them throwing each other, like, hardcore into a wall and, like, damaging the other piñata, and that's how you get an egg. Like, it's wild. It's super, super wild. Yeah.
Lexi, with all due respect, because of BZ bringing that up, I think I need a drink, and I hate alcohol.
Sure. Yeah, so this is why anytime he brings it up, PTSD kind of strikes psychic damage onto anybody who knows. So now you understand why.
See,
why
he gave you psychic. He gave you psychic damage because it made you remind you that it reminded you this information, and it gave me psychic damage finding out.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Also, despite that fucking shit that BZ reminded me of, I would like to thank BZ because thanks to them, we've officially hit 200 followers.
Hooray! Congratulations!
Yeah, okay, now back to Mario 64 so I can just cleanse myself of that knowledge dump. Jesus.
Yeah, your piñata's fucked, man.
You're telling me!
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. I always tell him, I'm like, why do you constantly like send that gif? You do realize
I would rather deal with the dictatorial fucking politics of Tropica 6 than play Viva Piñata at this point.
And the weird cannibalism hierarchy of Viva Piñata. It's really strange.